It's easy to forget some United legends, men often too quickly replaced for more modern heroes, even if they were, for a time, acknowledged amongst the best players in the world. The former club skipper of the post-war period, Johnny Carey, was one such man. Playing for United on either side of the war, Carey was the unassuming leader on the pitch who helped Busby bring the Glorious back to United after an almost 40-year wait. It's about time you found out more about the first Irishman to win silverware for our glorious club, Johnny Carey. John Joseph Carey was born in Dublin, Ireland on the 23rd of February 1919 when the country was still part of the British Empire. At 17, the then inside forward signed for St James's Gate at the start of the 36-37 season, and so precocious was his talent, he drew the attention of United chief scout, the legendary Louis Rocker. By fortune, Rocker had gone along to a St James's Gate match, and Carey caught his eye as something really special. By the November of 36, the Old Trafford club had signed him for a League of Ireland record fee of £250. Manager Scott Duncan gave Johnny Carey his debut as an inside forward for 2nd Division Manchester United on the 23rd of September 1937 against Southampton. Remarkably, the connection he made with other forwards, including Jack Rowley and Stan Pearson, Carey managed to crucially help United to promotion as the dark storm clouds of World War II were gathering. During the war, he made several appearances in exhibition games for other clubs. Carey fought against fascism with the British Army. He said, "A country that gives me a living is worth fighting for." He joined the Queen's Royal Hussars. Johnny served in both Italy and the Middle East, and whilst in Italy, he also played part-time football for several different clubs who gave him the nickname Cario. However, this legend's future lay in Manchester. Johnny Carey was an unassuming footballer who was calm and collected. I didn't need to be too animated or aggressive to get his point across. He was a thinker, not a shouter. Technically gifted, he had excellent control with a great touch using both feet. He was superb in the air and had sublime chest control. His pure ability and shrewdness that impacted positively on his positional play made up for his lack of pace, and as a result he was rarely caught out. He'd start as an inside forward but became one of the greatest fullbacks in our history. His play was consistently of a high level, and the perfection he attained was recognised by the Old Trafford faithful, Busby, his teammates and his peers. There was nothing that Carey wouldn't do for United, and a great example of this was the fact that he played in no fewer than 10 different positions in United colours, even playing a couple of matches in goal. He led by example, and his talents garnered huge respect on the pitch. This calm, pipe-smoking man was known as Gentleman John, but this was a misnomer, and he would put it about a bit when he wanted to. All because he played during the 1930s, 40s and 50s, it didn't mean it was a more gentlemanly game in some respects. On returning to England to restart his career, his new boss at United, Matt Busby, having a wealth of attacking talent at his disposal, decided to use Carey much deeper in the side, eventually deploying him at full back. It would be a shrewd move. Busby also handed him the skipper's armband. He was a soldier and carried out his orders dutifully. With a famous 5 forward line of Jack Rowley, Stan Pearson, Johnny Morris, Charlie Mitten and Jimmy Delaney, United became one of the most popular post-war clubs with their brand of attacking, exciting football. However, it was the calm leadership of Carey at the back that steered the United ship to 4 runners-up finishes, as well as the side's crowning glory, the 1948 FA Cup final victory over Stanley Matthews' Blackpool. Despite going behind twice in the match, United ended up as 4-2 winners on the day, which resulted in the first cup win for the club in almost 40 years. Also showing how the times were changing, Gentleman John was the first Irishman to captain an FA Cup winning side. He was also the first Irish United player to win a major honour. Johnny was first picked for his native island back in 1937 while still a teenager. When I say picked, it was by both rival Irish football associations. The Northern Ireland-based IFA and the Ireland-based FAI both claimed jurisdiction over the whole Emerald Isle at the time. The United skipper played 29 matches for the era-centric FAI between 1937 and 53, scoring 3 goals. In 1949, Carey captained an FAI 11 to victory over England at Goodison Park in a 2-0 win, the first time any non-UK side had beaten the England national team on home soil. He'd go on to captain them on 19 occasions in total. Johnny made 9 appearances for the Irish Association north of the border between 46 and 49 as well, helping them come runners-up in the 1947 British Home Championship. In all, Johnny made 40 international appearances for both associations combined, a League of Ireland 11, and as captain of a Rest of Europe 11, which played England in 1947. Whilst the FA Cup was the most glorious prize in that era, for manager Matt Busby the league was his initial holy grail, and during his pursuit of that, his captain was rewarded with the 1949 Football Writers Player of the Year award. Quite an achievement for a defender in any era. Johnny had been moved up to right half when he finally lifted the First Division trophy at the end of the 51-52 season, as United took the title by 4 points from Spurs, the defending champions. Another barrier was broken as Johnny became the first Irishman to captain an English title-winning side. Now aged 33, the veteran defender would stay on for one more season, helping coach Jimmy Murphy's youngsters acclimatise as the old guard made way for the Busby Babes. Carey felt it was time to retire at the end of the following campaign after 344 matches, 17 goals and 3 trophies. To think how many more games he could have played had the Second World War not broken out. The ex-skipper was immediately offered work as a coach at Old Trafford on his retirement, but the more professionally lucrative position of first-team manager at Blackburn Rovers was too good an opportunity to turn down. Rovers had been sitting in the second division for some years, but Carey took them back to the top flight in 1958 after several near misses. Highly sought after, the Irishman took over at Everton that year, guiding a stagnant club to a credible 5th spot in the 60-61 season, the highest post-war finish. However, that wasn't enough for Chairman John Moores, who sacked him in the back of a taxi. Quickly after, Leyton Orient then snagged Johnny, and he took them up to their first and only season in the First Division in 1962. At the end of the following season, he moved to Nottingham Forest, where he took them to the FA Cup semis in 67 and narrowly missed out on the league title to United that season. All the time this was going on between 55 and 67, Gentleman John was also taking charge of the Republic of Ireland outfit. Finally, after a brief spell back at Blackburn in 1970-71, he retired from the game. After football, Carey worked for a textile company and then in the Treasurer's office of Trafford Borough Council. A dryly humorous raconteur would recall his plain pomp with modesty and speak of his managerial days without a hint of bitterness. He was Gentleman John to the last. His last turned out to be the 22nd of August, 1995, aged 76. So that was the football life very well lived of glorious United skipper Johnny Carey. What do you make of him? And how does he stand up against the other great United captains like Buchan, Robson and Keane? Why not tell us in the comment section below and like, share and subscribe? Thank you as always for your support.